What's up, guys? Hey, thank you for tuning in to my 18th episode of Project Renaissance Man. Tonight, what I'm going to share with you guys is going to be behaviors that should be practiced regularly, every waking moment, because these things are going to help reinforce your sense of confidence, which is something I had covered in my previous vlog. So the same way that when you are confident, you demonstrate these behaviors, it can work the other way, where if you demonstrate these behaviors, you reinforce a sense of confidence within yourself because they are deeply associated with confidence. So the very first one I'm going to share with you guys is walk tall and keep your head up. You look around wherever you want to look. You don't have to shy away when you're walking down the street and there are cars coming up or people walking by. There's no reason to be afraid. You should never feel ashamed of yourself. You need to. I know self-love is a very difficult thing for a lot of us to acquire and develop because there are a lot of things we're not happy about with ourselves. Maybe there are insecurities. Maybe we don't feel too well about something we consider to be an imperfection of ours. But nonetheless, these things need to be kicked to the side because it's doing us no good, and it's very important for us to feel good about ourselves. Even at our lowest points, which is something that a lot of people struggle with. I don't know too many people that can feel good about themselves when they're at the very bottom, when they're not eating the best, when they're not where they want to be, I guess. All right, so, or self-sustaining. That can be a rough one. A lot of us don't want to depend on others. We have a lot of pride. So it makes total sense that we wouldn't feel too good about ourselves if we're asking for help. But we got to cut that out. Like, we all need help at some point in time in our lives. None of us does this adventure solely on our own. It just doesn't happen. And I think this is very well demonstrated in like some of your greatest pieces of literature and stuff. Even Batman has his Robin. Even Sherlock has his Watson. We all have our sidekicks. We all have our cheerleaders. We all have our support characters, our confidants. It's just the way it is. So we should not feel bad. But yeah, like I was saying, you want to walk tall, keep your head up. Don't let anything deter you from walking strong like that and just going about your business. Every day I practice this, and it feels great. I feel like I'm on top of the world. It's a great behavior to demonstrate, but I really do feel confident. It took me a while to get to the level of confidence that I have now, but like anything else, it's a work in progress, and it just takes time. But all great things, like all good things, take time. All great things take forever. So it's just the way it is. Second thing I'd like to share with you guys is be assertive. You don't have to be aggressive. Just because you're firm, you need to differentiate being firm from being a dick. Because you can be tactful, you can be classy in how you confront things, confront situations and people. You don't have to be a total prick about it, and that's why it's so important for us to make sure we're not acting through our emotions or letting them bottle up and waiting to the point that we don't handle it in a rational way. So you never let things culminate like that. And getting back to the subject, be sure to be okay with being assertive. Get comfortable with this. More than ever, people are so opinionated, and they want to kill each other over stupid shit. I mean, you hear it on Facebook alone, social media. But you have every right to speak your mind. So don't be afraid to. Don't be afraid to disagree with people. Don't be afraid to confront things when they're not the way you want them to be, when you're unhappy, when you're dissatisfied with your workplace situation. This is constant between my supervisor and myself. We're always not butting heads in a bad way that we hate each other, but, we both share our sides of things, and It does not matter if somebody has authority over you in a workplace environment, or anything like that. There's still weight behind your own belief system and what you stand for. So don't ever feel like it should be negated just because of who you're going up against in the argument. That's irrelevant. And the last one, don't be afraid to speak up. Your voice is powerful. I remember in one of my MMA classes, my earlier classes, freaking awesome class. I remember the trainer at that point in time was saying, your voice is powerful. He mentioned, a biblical reference, the walls of Jericho coming down from the voice of somebody. I don't know the whole story. I don't really read scripture, but he mentioned somebody brought the walls down with their voice. And whether that's hyperbole, and figurative or not, it's still pretty dope. It's still a dope analogy, or not an analogy, but a figure of speech, because our voices are very powerful. And I'm very soft-spoken and I'm reserved. That doesn't mean that I don't have a voice and I don't use it. You can be that way, but don't allow it to be what excuses you from speaking up when you feel you need to say something. There are going to be a lot of times, and I think we're tested a lot of times to say things, to stand our ground and speak up. And once again, you can be cordial about this. You can be polite about this. You don't have to be mean, but be firm, if it's an injustice committed against you. Stand your ground, speak your mind. You're going to feel so much better for it. When I was younger, I used to always think about, man, am I going to hurt this person's feelings? I'd overthink things. But then guess what? I'd go home and I'd feel like total shit. I'd feel powerless. I'd feel almost like a victim, because I'm like, I didn't say shit to that person. I wanted to say something to that person. Now I rarely bite my tongue. If I bite my tongue, it's only to keep things from getting too out of control, like escalating. But more than not, I say what's on my mind. And the escalation, I'd only worry about that if it is going to cause major issues. If it's going into something and what you're arguing about is silly, then fucking let it go. There's no reason to keep going on with it. So those situations are ones that I would just bite my tongue and blow it off and be like, well, it's not going to affect me or the world or anything, and it's not going to harm anything, whatever they're arguing about. Let them have their thoughts, We don't have to argue about everything. And I think in one of my vlogs I mentioned picking your battles, and something my mom always told us about, especially when I was hot-headed for a while, and I was always ready for shit. I was almost looking for it. So it's a true thing, though. You're going to exhaust yourself if you don't pick your battles. You're going to burn yourself out. You're going to be fighting over every little thing. It's stupid. So just speak your mind, but use your judgment. Use your judgment for when you feel it's a good time to do it, and if it's worth it. Or if it's just some trivial bullshit that doesn't warrant all that energy and, anger and, you contesting somebody else. So anyways, that's what I got for you guys tonight. If you enjoyed this video and you feel it has benefited you, please be sure to give me a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I will see you all on Saturday. Later.